people's feeds. And so using that strategy when there's something good that's come out that we can profit from, every time that you find it shared somewhere like that, even just liking it, even on Google+, plussing it, retweeting and things on Twitter, using that strategy just a little bit keeps that in the feeds of people who might have missed it or have been off for the week or something. That is a strategy we don't employ enough. Liking, sharing, favoriting, subscribing, sharing things out, and then going back and commenting, those sorts of things. If we're going to be activists who are going to get good messaging, whether it's here that we're talking about or something Saturday Night Live did or anything that you see, if you apply that and take just 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do a little amplification, it has immeasurable benefits, and it will get it into the feeds of people that are in our lives who are not political, but then we can reach them that way. I think that can't be underlined enough as a tactic that everybody can use at any time to amplify conservative messaging.
That's a good point, and it's something that I neglect to do. I tend to not be a +1er because I kind of don't see the point. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'll comment on it or I'll reshare, but I don't +1 a whole lot.
I +1 the crap out of everything. And I don't know if it shows up in other people's feeds if I have that feature turned off or not. But I definitely like people who've shared something good to know that it's something good and that they need to do more of that. And if they get 20 pluses on something, that'll give them a message. It's a way to gauge the content that you're putting out by how much what you're receiving back in terms of feedback. So I always do it. And it helps people gauge what is good, but it also helps them to know, if they're not getting a big response or you just leave a comment, to help them know, hey, maybe that's not something that you want to share. So it goes both ways.
Absolutely. And as you said about the +1s, it's nice. It really feels nice when you have a post out there that gets 30 pluses or a bunch of likes. It's always a good thing, and it's always a nice thing to have that. But on Facebook in particular, it does make it so that your followers get to see that you just liked something. So it's even more important to do that on Facebook. I don't know if they have that feature for sure on Google+, but for sure on Facebook, hit the like button because it makes everybody see what you're seeing. Everybody that is friends with you, they get to see that in their little stream feed thing in the upper right-hand corner. So that's important. We are at the halfway point of the show. I just want to take this time to say thanks everybody who's listening and watching. We're the Refinery. We talked about all sorts of interesting stuff in the first half. From the political side of things, talking about amnesty, talking about Ferguson, talking about all that stuff. But we want to shift a little bit now into the more cultural side of things. We're into Thanksgiving week already. It doesn't really feel like that. It feels like it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be here yet, since the show is only like 6 months old. It's kind of crazy that we're here already. But yeah, we had this discussion within the group that we wanted to go and do some stuff a little bit on the lighter side, and talk about some films, talk about some movies that we enjoy, that might have conservative messages in them, or stuff that we can talk about in that sort of conservative light. I know we talked about it last week that we want to do this. So we've all sort of pulled together, have some ideas for what we're going to do. I personally, this is a subject that I enjoy a lot. I know Andy mentioned last week how much he enjoys movies and doing reviews and things. My third ever piece on Free Radical Network, I believe it was my third ever piece, was on the Mark of Zorro, and I would love to take 5 minutes to just tell you, this is a movie that you should absolutely play during Thanksgiving. It is an excellent film, just in terms of the action and the story and the pace, and everything is great about it. But what shocked me when I've seen this film, I don't know, a ton of times. I'm a huge Zorro fan. I've always been. It sort of goes with Batman, all of that stuff. Zorro is just awesome. This movie was made in 1940, and it stars Tyrone Power. The thing that shocked me when I watched it for the 50th time last year was how conservative, how the hero, how Zorro is basically a wealthy guy. He's like Iron Man. He comes back to his town, to his hometown. He's this aristocrat, comes to his hometown, sees a government just wrecking the place and putting taxes on just everyone, outrageous taxes. You have this government coming in, this military force coming in, cutting people's tongues out. And this is 1940. This came out, and you have an aristocrat businessman from a rich family, from a wealthy family, come in and be completely disgusted by what he sees. And basically, what he does is he changes he fights against the government, fights against these taxes, and gives the money back to the people. It was an outrageous message for me to see this.
So he's sort of like Robin Hood?
Sort of.
Because that's what Robin Hood did. He didn't steal from the rich, he stole from the government.
Exactly. That story is, but that's not how Robin Hood is portrayed. That's not how Robin Hood is portrayed anymore. He's portrayed as stealing from the rich. What's not talked about is how the rich was specifically the government. In this, it's more overt. It's talking about, this is the governor who's doing this. This is these guys, the people who are wrecking things, the people who are being these tyrants are the government, and it is a family that runs a business, basically. That's who Zorro is. He comes in and he tries to make it better for the working class in his back in California after being in Spain. Comes back to California, sees everything is messed up, and tries to clean it up. It's just a mind-blowing. It was a mind-blowing experience for me to watch this movie from a political perspective and see just all the conservative themes and values there. I mean, it totally holds up, and it's something that everybody should watch.
Of course, I've only seen the Catherine Zeta-Jones Zorro movie, so that's a whole different deal, I think.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? That's terrible.
Well, she was hot.
I saw that movie one was like.
How was the girl in your version?
How hot is the girl in my version? Pretty hot.
Look, I'm trying to do a review here.
How's this for a review? The bad guy is Basil Rathbone. I'm pretty sure that's enough of a review right there. When the bad guy's Basil Rathbone, you're pretty much set.
That's pretty wicked cool, I have to admit.
All
okay.
Right. We'll add it to the list.
Add it to the list.
Well, good. I'm glad. I hope that we get to see the party of choice review for the Mark of Zorro a billion years after it's come out. That'll be awesome. How about you, Andy? Do you have anything?
My favorite movie ever, or?
Yeah.
Okay, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think it's the best. It had the best pacing, the best mix of pacing. It was an incredible forerunner for the modern hero. Today's heroes, almost all of them are to one degree or another the reluctant hero. Most of them. You have the exceptions because that got played to death, but Indiana Jones was the incredibly reluctant hero who was a bit of a slob you could relate to, but incredibly gifted at the same time. Obviously, he had great performances throughout. The writing was magnificent. The acting was perfect. The character development was perfectly measured. so as not to weigh down the story, but so as not to be too weak to make the story. Politically, it's fantastic because obviously it's showing at every level the evils of big government, be it American bureaucracy or obviously the Third Reich. And God wins. So, to me, it's the most perfect movie I've ever seen, although there have been a lot of them that, if I want to see a romantic comedy, it's probably going to be Roxanne with Steve Martin, which I thought was just brilliant. So, hey, certain things make me happy, okay, JD?
Hey, I'm not going to cast aspersions over rom-coms. I'm not prepared to do that at this moment.
And a movie that that I forced Cori to see. There's 2 movies I force Cori to see every year, and this is how we maintain the marriage. It's pretty much reliant on this. Number 1 is Con Air.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a good movie. I don't care. It's my kind of movie. It's a fun guy movie that is completely implausible and incredibly entertaining, and has terrific everything, terrific villains. I love it. And the other
so
one,
you're the guy who watches that movie every year. You're the one.
I keep it alive. And the other one is, and we're coming into holiday season, so she knows, The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Actually, I love that movie. I love that one.
It is outstanding. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
How does that work?
It's great.
It's hilarious.
It's
Seriously,
hilarious.
You've got to watch it.
Michael Caine is Scrooge.
Yes.
And it is it funny or what?
Yes, and Gonzo plays Charles Dickens.
And by today's standards, the special effects took tens of dollars to make. And it's hilarious. It's very funny. It's and by the way, once again, I like a movie to have a terrific pace. Another movie that has an epic pace is, and by that doesn't mean it has to be a frenetic pace, like the movie I'm going to see tomorrow because I'm going to review it, which is The Penguins of Madagascar. Got to do that. It's a kid movie. It's the holidays. But the Princess Bride also had just about the most perfect pacing I've ever seen in a movie. To me, I love good editing. To me, when I watch a movie, I always watch it to see what potentially was left out. And I always rip a movie to see when the wrong things are left in. It's kind of like bad sculpting. If you're a bad sculptor, it's what you leave there rather than what you take away. Does that make sense?
It does. And yes, Fishy, I believe that Benedict Cumberbatch is in Penguins of Madagascar. So there's a reason for you to go and see Penguins of Madagascar if you enjoy listening to Benedict Cumberbatch.
And Penguins of Madagascar also has the same villain as Con Air.
John
Nicolas Cage is
Malkovich.
overacting?
John Malkovich is going to be... Now, I'm telling you what. This is going to be his greatest dramatic performance. He's an evil squid, I believe. And I'm telling you what, this is going to stretch him.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow. Well done. Nice job.
Yeah.
I would watch John Malkovich read his grocery list. I'm enthralled. I'm enthused. I'm excited about that now.
If it weren't for Edward Norton, he might be my favorite actor. I mean, he's certainly up there. He is. Malkovich is magnificent. And
that was funny. There was a bit of a reaction to Edward Norton being your favorite actor there. It was interesting. I like Edward Norton. I think he's a fine actor personally.
Oh, and whoa! I forgot one last movie. Got to mention. All of my foreign policy is based on Team America.
We can't say anything really. We can't quote Team America. We can't do anything from Team America.
Okay, I've never seen that movie, but I have linked to the YouTube of their theme song a lot because
oh my goodness.
I love it. And no, we cannot talk about it here because it's got some profanity in it, like all over it. But it's awesome.
Actually,
I can quote one moment, and then I can quote one moment. At one point, let's see, they're sending the hero in to infiltrate the terrorists